Hello. I'm gonna try doing a vlog of my locals. I'm here with my boy Justin. Hello. And we're about to swing in a Pokebox here. It's your favorite streamer. Oh my god, wait, it's actually like
my favorite
gigantic
streamer.
now. Hello. I am going to try to do this locals vlog thing. My two purple NL guides, I think, have gotten more views than my entire VOD channel over the last year, which is totally fine. Like, I think I appreciate being recognized for the effort that I'm putting into that. I do think I have some cool commentary videos on Emu, so it's a bit outdated. And I figured I'm just going to take it into this vlog format and really just cut out some highlights for you guys in certain matchups because honestly, like, a lot of the games and a lot of the turns play themselves. Like, okay, purple NL turn one, just play the one drop, right? We'll see how this goes. It is a little sped up. I'm still kind of getting used to cutting all these out and speaking over it again. I think I usually give myself a little time to think through what I want to say in between turns. But I do think that this more focused format could be really interesting. So hopefully you guys enjoy. All right, Josh.
Hello, Teddy.
I'm getting 2v1 right now, round one, bro. Patrick got the bye, and then Josh is about to cook me with Green Bonnie, bro. Just getting into this Green Bonnie game here. I do end up winning the dice roll. My opponent hit a 3, and I hit an 8, so I just choose to go first. I already cut their deck, and in this matchup, I think Bonnie's a little slow, so honestly, I feel pretty comfortable with this hand because it is 2 6-drops, and I'm just going to be able to run away with the game there. So I opened the pudding. I think I get a key 10 off of it. I end up giving the hand to Patrick too, just to take a look, and he's laughing his ass off because I am going to, on turn 2, just go ahead and swing 5 lead. That pudding is going to get rested. It's going to be a pseudo blocker, and they actually choose to leave it up to not search with the Bonnie on turn 1, which is kind of big for me. I think in a couple turns I remove the Bonnie, and then they end up playing a carrot here. And by that time I've already established 1 NL and then use the extra Dawn to play an Ohm. Here I'm going to play my second NL before I swing anything. I kind of just want to give my opponent a reason to rest the second NL because I picked up the Vari. So I feel pretty comfortable, and I know that was off of the search, but I do feel pretty comfortable if my board gets stunned here. That carrot is not going to do too much work. So I just swing 10 lead, but they end up just swinging, actually resting the Ohm. So I'm kind of chilling, and then I just Vari afterward. So even if let's see. Oh, I pointed at Reiju because Reiju comes online. I think I just end up grabbing another event off of this, but swinging 5 lead here. My opponent does take. My opponent is super bricked up. Sorry, Josh. I think he was just digging for a Cavendish here. Not quite sure, but just going to show off this full turn here. Yeah, there's that second Vari. So even if he did rest the other NL, it is unlootable and uncarrotable, which isn't great because I'm sitting at 4 life and the Bonnie's sitting at 2. So you really have to start playing catch up here. So I feel pretty comfortable just kind of jamming it. Usually in green matchups, you want 2 Reijus, to be honest, but I just felt like I had an opportunity to establish back-to-back NLs and just make it really annoying for them. So either you rest my blocker or you rest my NL. Otherwise, it's just going to be a big problem for you, right? They also run the 5-cost OP07 Bonnie. Okay, and then speaking of the 5-cost Bonnie, that comes down and stuns my NL because it can stun any rested character or Dawn, regardless of the cost. So the Vari doesn't really come into play here. It's not the end of the world. To be honest, the Electrical Luna plays are not going to be fantastic here, so maybe there's not like a huge reason to have the NL Varied. It does prevent my opponent from stunning the Reiju, and then they're going to have to choose next to rest either the Reiju or my leader. And Apu comes off of the Bonnie search, which can be used to get rid of the pudding, but I don't think they use that there because they need the 1 extra Dawn. So going into my turn here, I think I'm going to play another NL. Yeah, I top deck it. So I'm going to go ahead and swing with my Enel first, just to guarantee the hit, and rest the Reiju. Just going down to 1 life is really tough here for the Bonnie, to be honest. Clearing out the Searcher, and yes, the Reiju is rested, but I'm just going to be able to set up a board so strong that it's going to be really hard to deal with. I think right now I'm contemplating between Elthor or Mamaragon. I have a Mamaragon in hand and double Gamma Knife, but I think I'm only going to need one, so I'm just going to hold on to the counter for...
Wait, all my cards are too good. I can't trash.
Oh, the Mamaragon for the counter, and then this Elthor will pop the Law. Realistically, I should have just taken the Mamaragon because it has more utility for countering out the Reiju, which we'll see in a moment, I think. I think Josh ends up clearing my Reiju here, but it's not too bad. I guess they're better lethal lines with, what's his name? I mean, just with the Elthor rather than the Mamaragon, especially because he has so many cards in hand, but I'm just going to start whittling away at it here. Playing the Shura, drawing a card, and I'm just kind of chilling. Top deck another Vari. What the heck? 4 Vari is kind of goated. I won't lie. I really like that card. But I understand some people are not running it. I think they're running the 6-cost Sanji instead. It's in the guide. Taking a look at this. Let's skip forward a bit. So my opponent swings 7k to the Reiju, and this is where the Mamaragon would have come in handy because I can go ahead and just give the 1k Mamaragon here, +1, draw a card. It's a brick, which is unlucky, but maybe another one. I don't remember what top deck was. Maybe another Mamaragon would have gotten me there because I do think they go ahead and swing 8k into the Reiju, and there's just no way I can protect that. And the reason why I defended it the first time is because I wanted them to commit that much Dawn. And this is the Law play that I was talking about where... Did I mention this? In my head, it's like, oh, you just grab the Law or play the Law, grab the Bonnie back, and play it and stun it in an L. So now we have 2 NLs on the board. I want my opponent to choose between resting the blocker and resting an NL. So I go ahead and play the Rip Law early. And let's see, what am I picking here? These two. I grab a Cavendish and a 2K, which is kind of brutal. My opponent has not played a Cavendish the entire game, and I think he was just digging for that. Probably why he took so many hits early on. I think he took a 5K early. We're just going to Gamma Knife the Law, and like I said, just pop it with the Elthor. Giving the +1 to the Shura, just making sure I'm doing my sequencing correctly. So I'm going to be able to swing 10k, 5k, 7k. And we're just going to cycle buff the NL cost again. I know that if Luna comes down, all my stuff is going to get, frozen. And I have to attach here, unfortunately. I mean, maybe I could have just swung 10 first. So maybe if you wanted, there's no reason not to rest the other NL. And then I will just swing for probably 5k, 7k, play the Ohm. I don't know why I swing 7k first, but sure, whatever. Why did I do that? I think I'm so Bonnie brained, right? You just swing highest first. Get the 5k swing going. I think my opponent still has like 7 cards in hand, but I just go ahead and play the Ohm to draw a card. It is another Mamaragon, so never punished. So the next blocker that comes down can do something. My opponent is still on 2 5-drops, plays the Luna. So 7 down to work with, plays the blocker, and I just have that Mamaragon ready to get rid of it. I do also have the Senior Pink, which is maybe why I figured I can just let the Mamaragon go. Just taking all the hits to life, I don't think there's a huge need to. I think my opponent has a lot of cards in hand, so maybe I just don't worry about it. Here I can go just -1 to counter out here, since I have the Mamaragon on the 6k. Leaves 2 Dawn open for events. I think Bonnie only runs the plus 3k events. So if you think about it, it is plus 6. So would be able to get out of a 10k swing just with double event. And then I don't know how many 2ks are in his hand. I did rip the Tashigi 2k and the Cavendish from hand. So there is a like high chance that not all cards are counters. So we'll just go ahead and Gamma Knife. This is where I guess the Elthor would have been nice just to push that extra lethal because I don't think it was necessarily needed last turn. And then just rest the Bonnie here. And that's just going to finish off the game. I rest it and I think I go like 16 lead and there's just no way of getting out. So that was game 1. Game 2 was a mirror against Albert. So I end up losing dice roll and he doesn't see me ask for the fist bump. So I'm already losing at this point. I draw for turn. I have 2 1-drops. I think I just end up playing them out. Technically, you should do Satori first. Grabs me an Elthor. Could have gotten double Elthor here. That's honestly fine. Not that big a deal. Go ahead and do Satori. What did I draw off that? Another pudding, I think. Take the first life. And my opponent does leader ability and then is going to swing 5k but plays dog. Now, I don't run dog because I don't think it's great. I'm just going to give that 1k here. And this is where I just throw the entire game, I think. So I draw for turn. I have the Mamaragon. I have like a lot of combos here. I could like, you know, swing into the dog if I Gamma Knife. But realistically, I should just establish a Frankie with leader ability. I shouldn't be worried about swinging. But I just go ahead and Gamma and then Elthor to just aggro down my opponent. So Satori's going to swing into Ohm here. And then I also do a bad thing and I bottom deck my 1 Divine Departure. I don't have any more Gamma Knives. So I really should have just grabbed that card from the beginning. I go ahead and leader ability here, attach 4 Dawn to the pudding, swing 7k, and swing another 7k. I mean, 2 life early is pretty good, and I get to clear the board, but I spent 2 cards to clear the holy, and my, what's it called? I already gave a 1k for the Ohm swing. So maybe I just counter the first 5k and then take the first double attack and stay healthy that way. Realistically, the Frankie was just going to be my best play there because now my opponent is going to play the Enel for free, basically. And I'm just going to have to play the Enel War, which I inevitably end up losing. Just spoiler alert here. I think we'll get to some weird spots in the board state, but at some point, I just have no way of clearing the board, and I'm just so down on cards. I think I end up doing a rip law here. What's the play? Okay, I ripped 2k, 1k last time. Now I flip a brick and a 1k. The senior pink was like nice, but I just don't think it's super worth it. So I'm feeling a little cooked here. I have no NL, or I have my 1 NL, and I could just like go for game. And I think that's what I try to do. Just put the Reiju to 4k, and I should just swung 5k into it to ask for a 2k here. But I am very stupid, and I don't know why I cycled the Kiten if I was just going to rest it. The Reiju is not online, by the way. There are only 2 cards or 2 events in trash, so just swing 7 lead. My opponent takes. We end up Elthoring. Pop the Ohm. And I have 4 cards in hand. I have 4 life though, so it's like maybe I'm fine. Spoiler alert, I'm not. I should just Lightning Dragon this. Please just Lightning Dragon this. The Vari's also fine. The Vari's at 2k, which is nice, but no, we just go ahead and leader ability. Swing 8k? I think I'm not worried about Sanji's as much as I should be. I should be ramping down to 4 every turn. But that's all right. Yeah, nothing else but to swing 8K. I asked for 2Ks, nothing. And then swing 10, put my opponent to 0. And I'm going to be able to stun the blocker, so I'm going to ask for one next turn. But I don't think like anything comes out of it. I think my opponent ends up doing a Gamma Knife on my NL, swings into it, and I just have no way of removing this other NL here.
I think I lose tempo now.
Let's see what the plan ends up being, because I did leave this clip in for some reason, and that Frankie is still haunting my hand. So Shura is already gone. There's still one body up in the pudding. And we just, what's the punish? Gamma Mamaragon, the law called a day? This is where Reiju would have been nice. I mean, again, live and die by the rip law, right? If I ripped an NL and like a Reiju out of that, it might have been super gas. But I suck at this game. And, you know, I think the game, again, is already thrown because of the way that I went down so bad in hand early on. So I just, you know, I don't think it's worth it at this point. Here is the Gamma. Still have 4 Dawn to work with. Not going to establish a body this turn, interestingly enough. Maybe it's a sequencing thing. -1. Ask for a 2K. And this makes me think that my opponent doesn't have the Mamaragon. So I'm suddenly thinking that we're so back. Because if they swing wrong, or like if they try swinging the NL, I'm chilling. I can just block with the law. But he actually does find his very first Mamaragon off of the pudding, and it does make it so that the Reiju is online. So, you know, slow start for my opponent. I do think that you should see a Mamaragon a little earlier.
Yep.
So just go 6 there. I feel like I want my opponent to waste the Mamaragon anyway, so I just let it go. I don't want to give 2 cards for it. Even though you're going to get, you know, max value out of the resting, the Mamaragon, it's just like I just give it up and I just eat a 6K swing again. Maybe that's the way that I bait out the NL swing. Let's see here. Yeah, I could have probably blocked with it, just knowing that it was going to get cooked. Ohm comes down. Still 1 Dawn open. Pudding is going to swing for 6 there. And there's no way I'm defending that with 4 cards in hand.
Let it go, and then you just swing an L.
Like, maybe with that. And my opponent just swings here. Kind of need cards, too. Yeah, I guess I could have saved a life if I Vari 1K there, but I just don't think it's that good.
Raju's 7K now? Yeah. You Gamma Mamaragon, right?
Looking for answers. I have no other NLs. That was my only rip law, and I think my opponent is back to hand. I think this is a time where I could have just jammed 11K, low key. Because my opponent has, what, 7 cards in hand?
Just chip cards, right? Just go 5.
I think if I just jam and ask for all of the cards, it might be a pretty good play. So maybe that's another place I could have come back, because I have 3 life. It's like, okay, I don't establish a body, whatever.
It is 2 cards.
Like I could just Vari for nothing and then play a Shura
I usually see like
or like a pudding just to try and get more cards in my hand. But I think I opt to establish bodies instead, which is, I think, reasonable because I'm chilling at, you know, how much life? 3 life. But I'm just so susceptible to Gamma Knife combos at this point.
Gamma? That's why it mattered.
Also, if I'm not swinging big, I think the 5K swing is a little troll because I could have just Gamma Knifed and then swung into the big L. But that is not what we ended up doing.
I think I can still clear, right?
Just try to build back board. Draw a card. That would be nice to
Gamma.
pop the Ohm, I think? Yeah, because I have the Shura. I guess I can rush into it.
Or
+1 to the Shura, and then just probably leader ability at this point. There's no really other cards that you can do. The Vari doesn't do much outside of draw a card. and I'd rather have a 2k for life. Let's go ahead and swing. That is 9k into 5, so asking for 3 cards here. He could just protect and then move on with his day. I think that was the correct play,
If I counter here and don't kill you next turn,
Yeah, then you're dead. Yeah.
but he just lets it go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The reason why I say that's the correct play, I guess you don't have Lethalist turn, so maybe not. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm more convinced on that play then. Take a Vari here, and it's honestly just kind of curtains. I think we'll just get to... I think my opponent ends up playing another NL and then another Reiju, so somehow I'm able to just drag this game out a little longer, but it is just kind of downhill. If I had just blocked the double attack with the Frankie and then like stunned the Holy Forever, it may have been fine. I think you're more so going for board control than you are just hitting life. I don't mind taking hits early. So this is kind of like my futile attempt to like draw some cards to find an answer to maybe stun a Reiju and then have my blocker. But I think he does end up just having like the Gamma Knife in hand. And we are just talking, I think, about the dog play and that I think I top decked that Frankie. So he was maybe saying that I should have done the Frankie play, but it just obviously was not available for me. All right, game 3 is into Nate playing green Mihawk today. I think I end up winning the dice roll and going first. I don't have an Enel here. I do have a Vari, but I put it back anyway. That Divine Departure is going to be very important for the 9-cost Secret Rare Mihawk. But what is this next opening hand? 1 Enel, 1 Shura, an Ohm. Probably just establish the Ohm here. Sure is a nice surprise. Nothing really huge here. I do hit the Riplaw. I think my opponent just ends up searching. I think they end up taking a... So this is the Bonnie. I think there's another search where they search a Mihawk out. But you want to be worried about that because it can make the Reiju blocker not be able to rest or the NL not be able to rest either. So losing a blocker or losing a big 10k swing is going to be unfortunate. Go ahead and draw a second NL here. This is another, like, mono green decks feel a little slow into NL right now. I don't know if it's the build or what. Just go ahead and swing a gigantic 8k to leader. There's no way Mihawk is taking that early, so I believe they stay at... Is that 8 cards in hand right now? And this is where I'm just thinking this Riplaw is going to go crazy because I just don't think my opponent's going to expect it. Of course, you want to establish the NL first. I think I feel more comfortable there. And that Kidney Killer is just going to free swing. Pooh comes down and actually rests my Ohm, and I get cleared, but not a problem. He's at 3 life. I establish an NL. I think next turn play the Stun Bonnie that rests, stuns a Rested Dawn. And I just go ahead and poke 5k there. Poke 10. And then just Vari. Draw a card, and then leader ability, and I can play an NL now. So even if Bonnie stuns your Dawn, you can still just kind of game. Like, just make sure you have an event in hand that can go -1, and you should be fine. So our opponent's now sitting at 2 life with a 6k body on board that doesn't really do anything else. So I'm very happy with this development. I think 2 NLs is just going to be so annoying to deal with, especially if I can keep the Vari chain going. I do think that Riplaw is going to have to make an appearance now. So I go ahead and play the Riplaw. This is after, I believe, my opponent plays, like grabs the 2k and then plays out a Perona rested, but nothing is able to get stunned. I think the correct play was using the Law for the Bonnie and just bouncing it and playing it again, like in my game with Josh. But I end up ripping a DMG and a Luna from the Riplaw, and that just went absolutely crazy. So I think there's a world here where I just swing face, go 7 leader. After the rip, like you kind of just have to take counter here, the plus 3k. I think that's a know you're stronger. So that is 1 less stun event out of hand. I go ahead and swing 10k leader.
Go law here.
Oh, 10 to law. I guess you don't want it restanding because I don't have a stun event, but realistically, putting him to 0 is not a bad call here.
Dragon, man. Leader.
Don't swing into the Bonnie.
13 lead.
Yeah, so taking the 13k swing, I end up finding the lightning dragon and being able to stun one of them. I should have done that before I swung the Enel, I think.
Bonnie. Draw card.
But that's neither here nor there. I think this board state is pretty good, especially going first. So now I think my opponent is finally going to 10 Dawn, and I believe the Law Beppo comes out, stuns the Law, and makes Mihawk a 7k leader. This is, I think, the only time that you can follow with Luna, but I did rip one from hand, so I'm feeling pretty hopeful that this is like an acceptable play. Go ahead and take that, get a Divine Departure. And look, I have a Divine Departure and a Gamma Knife. So I can do that thing that everyone keeps talking about in my video. But I want to wait for the La Beppo to swing. Let's see what this turn is. I think it's just a Frankie turn. Nate ended up using the Know You're Stronger event to stun my 2 NLs, which is totally fine. I have 2 on board. I am worried about the Mihawk that's about to come down because I know that he searched it. So my goal right now is to get as many cards out of hand as I can. Let's go ahead and buff up the pudding to make a 7k swing.
Get under all the swings.
So just use leader ability here. And just swing 7, I think should be fine. And let's just see what Nate gives me for counter. Trying to remember here. It may have been another Perona? Trying to think about it. And I wish I had like how many cards Nate had in hand, but I'm still working on this new angle. That looks like another Perona to me.
7 Bonnie.
I'm just going to send 7k at the Bonnie. I don't think you want to give a 2k for the Bonnie, so I'll just go ahead and pass. And this is the turn that I was kind of holding my Divine Departure Gamma Knife for, because Blonde Beppo is going to be an annoying 11k beater, but that Mihawk is going to be a problem because it's going to prevent something from resting every turn, and it's going to give a 2k counter on my attack. So I'm making that priority number 1. Let's search for answers with the stage. Just draw the card for that free leader ability, even though you're not going to use it this turn because you have the Mihawk. And if Mihawk came down last turn, I was for sure just going to Gamma Knife it, right? Like, I think there's no reason not to. But the Mihawk does come down, prevents my Enel from restanding because you have to go for lethal, so it puts him in an awkward position to not use my blocker, or to not stun my blocker. So swinging 12 into it, and I'm just going to... I was hoping for a 2k off of that, but I end up just drawing... I think that's another Gamma Knife. So I have 2 Gamma Knife in hand and 1 DD. I just give 2 more 1ks to make it a little funny, but I'll be okay.
3?
I think if it was 13, I would have done... What is that? Probably Divine Departure and Mamaragon. Having 2 Gamma Knives in hand, I'm kind of chilling. I know you can't use them back to back with the Divine Departure. That's fine. I forget to restand here, but I get my 3rd Gamma Knife. At this point, I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? Like, what is the most Dawn efficient? Trying to think here. I think it's like minus 10k for 6 versus needing to use leader ability or minus 15k or leader ability into a total of minus 13. So I do think the play ends up being double Gamma Knife the Mihawk, because that is enemy number 1. Even though the Lon Beppo is bigger. I just want to get rid of the Mihawk. Because I can also still swing my NL. There's nothing on the field that will stop me from swinging my NL once that Mihawk is cleared. And even then, swinging like 10 into 5 or 10 into 6 won't be too bad, especially because it's Mihawk. If they have the plus 4K event, that's honestly fine. I'd rather them use it on a body. If I had a Lightning Dragon here too, that would go crazy. But I just have 2 cards in hand because I used 3 Gamma Knives this turn. Just clarifying that I could have restood my NL or was supposed to restand. Trying to think here if I want to just swing face. But I do just end up swinging 10 into the Law Beppo. And then swinging 9K to leader. Both are 4K above, so I need an event plus a 1K. Which I do end up getting for the 9K swing. And another reason why I'm not really worried about the Frankie, I guess I am at risk of getting stunned here. But because my other NL is standing, there isn't a lot that Mihawk can do to arrest my second NL. I guess you could play another Mihawk, which I know he has. I think Nate wanted to play a Mihawk, but searched the regular art, but played the manga on me. So I actually did not know that he had another swing. Or I did know that he had another Mihawk, so I was a little worried there. There's some lethal line here, and I didn't really think about the math, but I'm just going to leave it on the screen. 5K, I think I always counter, and then that just makes it so my opponent cannot kill me. But I wanted him to use more Dawn, which I think is why I took the first hit. Basically just make it so you don't play the other Mihawk, which I did have Divine Departure in response for. So this is a 7K swing going through, and this one I have to give up because if I take it, that is 9 Dawn, that's 11K swing, and I don't think I get out of that. It depends on what life is, but I think life was a 1K, and I just end up winning from there. All right, and my camera dies here, but I'm playing Daniel, and I open with a pudding that searches Avari into another pudding that searches Avari, and that is my turn 1. I have an NL in hand and a Reiju. This game is cooked. Like, I feel a little bad, but my hand ends up having 3 Varis before my camera dies. I have a Reiju and an NL on board. It is just kind of curtains from there. That matchup has gotten way easier once you start running 4 Varis and 4 Reijus. I don't really know what that deck can do. At the end of the game, Daniel and I were chatting, and I think the answer ended up being play Nami. Unfortunately, because it's like you play the Usopp, it immediately gets Mamaragon and swung into. And if you don't, I already had the board advantage, so there was no way that he was going to be able to use his Dawn to protect the Usopp. And then when the Sanji started coming down, I was able to just Gamma Knife L for them because there's no Laboon on board. And then game 5 ended up being against a green Zoro, my boy John. It's really unfortunate that I don't have gameplay for it, but I do think that matchup is pretty favored for an L. None of Zoro's bodies stick, and you just have enough counter to get out of at least one restand event if you need. I'm going to leave you with the clip of me opening my winner pack. I did end up getting 4th after only losing to Albert. I am going to try to get into an extra grand battle tomorrow, and we'll just go from there. Go to your locals, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one. My camera died. I finished up. He's fucking laughing at me. I'm gonna kill myself, bro. This is so crazy. I'm proud of you. Thank you. Played that RG game. I found all my Varis, and then just kind of went out from there. The NLs were just able to swing all the time. And then last round was Zoro. That one's pretty good. You guys, Aki on Monday? Aki Monday? I might do that. So we're just gonna crack this open. All right, shout out Joke Bear. I'm gonna open this before they do Pokemon free release. Nami, 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 nami. Hey, okay.
Let's go. That's the one I wanted. I have the chopper already. I think I got everything else. So thanks for coming out.